This video is the page construction video for the Wonderland Mini Album. You can get the tutorial and the kit on my blog at www.webofcreativity.net. So for this video, again, it's a page construction only. So there's no cover, which is all in the tutorial, but just how to construct the pages. So the first page we have a tag at the bottom that comes out, and let's put that back in there. Then it opens up at the top and a tag comes out. Then the back side is just matted and decorated. The second page has a tag, a large tag on the side. Has a dangly piece to pull on to open. Then we have a tag on the inside. And then the back side has this little key that lifts this mat up, flap up, and then a tag on the inside. So we're going to do the page constructions, matting and decorating the tags in this album. And there's 2 pages not connected. So that's what we're going to do for this video. And 2 page styles. So let's get started. Time to work on page 1. Page 1 is the page with the 2 flaps that open up and then has a pocket for a tag, and the back side is plain for you to decorate. And it's also not attached because this attaches to the binding. So we're going to work on that. This one's a blank copy. And again, it doesn't get attached until the end because it attaches to the binding. So have all your pieces cut and scored per the tutorial. And then we're going to take the largest piece, which is the base page. And we have a score mark along the top that we're going to trim off. So we have a middle score line and then a tab score line at the top. So we're going to trim off from that middle spot and it's hard to see in the black. And then we're going to taper all the corners. I'm going to move that. So I'm going to cut this corner at an angle. And we're going to trim. There's, you can see the 2 tab marks, so we're going to cut those off. And then cut that tab. So now we have 2 tabs on the side. And then we're going to add tape to the tabs. And again, this doesn't get attached, so we're just going to fold over, having it line up at the top, taking the bone folder, Now we're going to work on our other pieces. So the next is the pocket. So we're going to fold on all three of the score lines and use the bone folder. Get a good crease, and then we're going to taper the corners. So I'm just cutting at an angle up to the corner point on the two long ones and then taper. So I'm going to cut at an angle to the score line. So now I have 3 tabs. And I'm going to add tape to them. Just checking to make sure the size of the pocket will fit, and it'll fit nicely. So I'm going to remove my tape and attach my pocket. I have my pocket. I'm going to line it up at the bottom. Just like so. Then for our 2 flaps, we're just going to fold on the score line, taper the corners, and then add tape. Okay, so we're going to line it up first to see if, make sure nothing needs to be trimmed off. Make sure it all looks good and will fit nicely. So if it looks like it's going to hang over a little, then you can just trim it off. Make sure that's flush to the top. And I don't think I need to trim at all. So I'm going to go ahead and attach my flaps. So I just turned it sideways so I can see it better. I need to line it up with the bottom. All the way to the top. And then for the second flap, I'm going to turn it upside down and make sure it fits in this little space right here. Make sure it lines up with the bottom piece and the sides. There we go. Now we have our flaps. This stays opened, and then decorate the back. Alright. Page 1 construction is done. Page 2. So page 2 we have this top flap that opens up and a pocket for a tag. And it's also on a base page that opens, and that's for a place for tag. And then the back side that opens and for another tag. So that's decorated. This one's not, so you can see the bear. And then the back side. So we're going to go ahead and make the main page first. So cut per the directions on the tutorial and score. So your base page just has a tab, oops, that we're going to go ahead and fold over and taper the corners. I'm going to do that on both of them. And then we're going to add tape to our tabs. And if you're wondering, I am using 3/8 inch score tape. Alright, so we're going to attach with one tab on one side, the other tab on the other side, and hook them together. So we're going to line up the bottom. There we go. So now it's a tube. Alright, so for the front side, we have this one sheet that I've already scored and drew my line of where I'm going to cut it off at. And then this tab section that I'm going to cut off. So we're going to get my cutting mat. So we're going to trim off, we're not trimming, we're just going to cut off, cut at the line. And we're going to attach the, so I cut one line this way, this and one line this way, and then I'm going to attach the two, cut at the 2 points. There we go. And then the top section gets this 1/2 inch tab trimmed off. I have to go off screen a little bit so I can see it. It's hard to see black. I'm gonna bring my lamp closer. Ooh. There we go. So there we go. Now we're going to go ahead and fold on the tabs and taper the corners. So I've got tape. And I'm going to do fold on all my score lines. And then taper the corners. Add tape. Alright, so this is going to form a pocket on the bottom. I'm just laying it out just to make sure it fits on the page. Alright, so I'm going to line it up evenly at the bottom. Just like so. And then the top one, I'm going to make sure it's lined up with the spots that we cut out evenly. There we go. And if you drew a line in pencil, don't forget to erase that line. Alright, so the back side. Has three sheets. We're going to get that cutting mat back out here. So the first large flap, we have the score line at the top, and then we have drew 2 lines to trim off. And then our pockets are, you see the score lines where those are. And then we're going to cut this off at a diagonal. So let's go ahead and trim off the lines. There we go. And then with these two, we have score line here and here. So we're going to trim from this point of the score line to this point. I think I need a new blade. Alright. I'm going to do the same thing with this one. And these are going to be on opposite sides of each other. Alright. So we have the two scores, so they're opposite. Alright. Taking our large piece, we're going to go ahead and fold on that tab. Taper the corners and add our tape. And then with the pocket pieces, pocket corners, I'm going to fold where the tab is, and then we're going to get our pencil. When one is folded, you draw a line so you know where to trim that tab off with. Trim that tab. So I'm drawing two lines, if you can see that line, and I'm going to trim it. You don't see the line because there we go. Draw the line. There we go. And then trim where the line is, or a little inside it. So when it's folded into the pocket, you won't see those two edges. And then taper this corner off. And then do that same thing to the other piece. So we're going to fold. But see where, let me cut that. The reason we draw a line is just so we don't, so if we just taper it a little bit, you might still get that corner and see a spot. So let's draw the line. I might trim just inside the line. There we go. Then we're going to go ahead and add tape. Because that's angled pretty good, I put the piece of tape in there, and then I'm going to turn it over and trim that extra piece off. Same thing with the other side. So before I attach everything, I make sure it all lines up, just in case I might have to trim anything off. So we line up the top piece, see where that's going to fit on there. Check this piece pocket out, line it up. See if that's going to fit real nice right in there, and then try this pocket. And it all looks good. So we're going to go ahead and attach the pockets first. So we're going to attach the pocket to the bottom corner, lining it up with the corner and the edge. And do the same thing with this second pocket. Line it up with the corner. And again, I am going to check that placement. And it looks really good. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and attach the top piece. I'm going to line it up with the bottom. Alright. Looks good. Okay. And there's the construction of our second page. So we're going to go ahead and mat page 1. Again, don't attach it yet. And so we start off with the, let me go ahead and show you page 1 real quick. So we got a tag at the bottom. These flaps open up, and then a decoration on the back. So we start with magnets that I've already put on the inside flaps, and then on the back. So I cut out all my pieces already. So I have just a couple of front pieces. Cut it just a little bit different. I'm going to use a sticker and put it in the center. This one was off-centered and a longer strip. And then on the inside, I cut out a main mat and then my cards. So I'm not going to bore you with me distressing, so I'm just going to distress on camera one piece and show you what I do, and then the rest I'll do off camera. I use, if you can see, I use a distress tool, Tim Holtz distress tool, and then ink the edges with black ink. And then the first piece at the front, let me back out of here, is a heart. So this heart is a Spellbinder's die. Oops. It's just called a classic heart. And I used the largest one. And the kits come with hearts for your pages. And then I stamped it and then cut it straight down the center. So that stamp is a crackled background. If that clears up a little bit, it says crackled background. Delta. I took it off the block and put it on an acrylic block. So these get distressed too, just the outside edges and just a little bit. And then these can get more distressed. You can cut them, tear them a little bit, roll them on the corners. So we'll go ahead and just do one piece. Oh, let me get on camera. And so you can kind of really get in there to fold it and roll it if you want to do that. Or just do a light distressing. Alright. And then for my middle piece, I'm going to distress I suggest taping your pieces before you ink them. Because once you ink them, you really get in a lot of ink in there because of all the marks that you made. So taping the back of them first helps with not getting ink everywhere. So again, I'm only just going to do these 2 pieces and then on camera, and then do the rest off of camera so I don't bore you. You don't need to watch me distress and ink all these pieces. And I'm sure you're going, thank you. I could fast forward, but it's easier just to cut it and then show you the end result. You can use an ATG if you want. I'm using tape because my edges aren't flat and I want to make sure it sticks. Since I've distressed them, they pop up a little bit, and so I really want the tape to hold it down and not the so the ATG gun might not be flat enough. Alright, so I probably need to add a little more ink to my ink pad, but I'm going to go ahead and ink. You don't have to distress. You can use a corner punch if you want. I just like the look of it for this album. And look at all that mess. It is a messy one. Alright, so we're going to attach the bottom piece. Now I used, I think I might put some brads into my second piece. Oh. Actually, I think I'll just put some stickers on it. Alright. See, make sure that's even. Alright, so for the piece I'm using for that is going to be a sticker out of the collection. I'm inking it off camera. Hold on. It's just a sticker out of the paper collection. Should turn it. Kind of like that. There we go. Alright, and the heart needs to be distressed first. This is just going to be a little light one. I know I said I wasn't going to do it, and here I am doing it. It's just going to be real quick. I don't do a whole lot of distressing on the heart. I just give it a little bit of texture to it. Oops. And I did exactly what I said not to do. Forgot to add my tape to it first. I'm going to do that real quick. The heart gets tape and glue because of the round edges. What I did is for my first page, I did all the distressing, moved my mat out of the way when I was done with all my pieces, and then taped it and got my desk all black. So that's why taping first would be better than later. So, see if that focuses. We're just gonna line it straight up and attach our heart so it's in the center. Let me see if I can get my glue to work. I think this is a new bottle. I'm using the Craft. Sorry, I'm looking for my pen. Craft Tacky Glue. And when it's, I just use a pen at the top to get that to open up. All right. So I'm gonna take my tape off. Add some glue. All glue plugs up. That's my opinion anyways. There we go. Add some glue. Alright, second piece. And then I have brads for the heart so we can poke some holes in the page to get our brad to go through. Alright, so then we just line our heart up. Alright, so for the first page I have Tim Holtz Hectagon. For this page I have some Graphic 45 brads, and I have some artsy little knobs for three. So I have 3 different types for the little decoration. And then for this page, it's not done. I'm going to do a little cutout There's another page of these. I might cut out a couple pieces of these and put them on here as well. So, anyways, that's the idea. Alright, so for this, I just take my pencil, line it up where I think I want to put it. Just to get an idea, and then mark with my pencil where I want to poke my holes. So this isn't a normal brad. The legs are far out, and instead of trying to bend them and closed in the middle, which I've done before, I'm just going to poke 2 holes. So I'm just going to make it about the same on the other side. I'm eyeballing it, and then I'm going to poke it with my pokey tool. Just checking to make sure my magnet's not going to get poked. Or my finger. Alright, and then making sure my brad placement's going to be in the same spot. It's always good to check and measure twice than to poke a hole and realize your hole's in a different spot. Alright, so I got my 2 Graphic 45 brads in. Alright, let me ink and distress, and I'll be right back. So, who else inks their entire hand when they're inking? Yeah, I tend to do that. So, I added some little gem pieces to make it look more like a completed look. And then I distressed my edges on my pieces. Go back out a little bit. And took out some sides. So now we're going to go ahead and attach. And this, of course, is a pocket, so we just, I do need to put a tag in there, and I'll do that probably at the end of the video. So let's line it up. And I'm going to add some tape. I know there's already tape on here. I want to make sure that the brad is secure, so I'm going to go ahead and add some more tape to this. Oops. Just removing the tape backing. Alright, then I'm going to add my second piece. And then add my cards. All right, all done. So the back side is only going, I'm going to have one mat for the back side. Now with the first page, I had this is a cutout out of the paper collection, and then did a background piece. And then I'm going to do that with my third page, but this page, I liked this picture right here out of the collection. So I'm going to use this one. I'm going to go ahead and distress and ink the edges on this. So with this guy, I have, you know, I added some little more in-depth distress marks to it. I'm going to add some brads to the corner of these just to give it a little extra something. So what I have are these tiny brads. These are from Tim Holtz. I think he calls them fasteners, and they have I don't know if you can see they're screw heads. So I think they're cute. They come in the kit. I give you a good number of those, and then along with the these little guys right here are in the kit as well. So I just kind of eyeball it in the corner with my pokey tool, and it's okay if I tear the paper, because you know it gives that extra little look. Because I've done that, I did that on the first page. Got too close to the edge. And then I add my brads. I added some tape on the back of this. I'm just going to peel off the back of the tape a little bit. Pull down my brad. I got it turned a little bit. Alright. The brad overhangs on the corner, which is fine. I'm going to go get my little jewelry trimmer that'll cut that piece off. Ooh. Try and get that flattened there. Alright. See the cute little brads? Then we attach. And page 1 is done. Except for the tag. So there we go. Moving on. Page B. We're going to go ahead and decorate page B. So we have a dangly piece that opens the page up and in the pocket, and a tag that goes here, and then the back side where this lifts up. I'm going to do a more full mat here and a full mat here on the video. So I'm going to set that aside. So you start with your magnets. You put your magnet on the front cover of this page, and then on the inside, and then on the back side we have the magnet here, and I actually have it on the inside of, can you see where I have that tape? Inside the, where the tag goes. So I originally put it low and have this piece covering, but because it's not a solid piece, the tag gets stuck. So I figured I'd move that magnet to the inside where it's not gonna have too much of a problem. So with the matting on this page, we have, you just follow the tutorial on cutting it, and then you have your line that you draw to cut. Now, a good tip for this piece, if you can measure it, of course, but if you wanted to slide your paper in here and put it so it has 1/8 of an inch border, and even on the sides, you can just trace, so you know exactly where your line's going to be, and then you know where you're going to cut it. So either way, you can use the measurements in the tutorial, or you can just trace it. Tracing might give you a little more accuracy on your paper. Then we have the extra pieces to decorate it with. And then for the inside, we have just one solid mat for the inside. And then some strips and decorations for this side. When it comes to distressing, I don't distress the paper on the inside, so that just makes sure that everything shuts without catching. When you distress it, it gives it a little more dimension on the side, so you want to lay this flat and that there's another tag going inside. But for the outside, I distress everything but this line. You can distress it, it's just, that was my what I wanted to do. So for the back side, because I'm going to go ahead and distress the ink before I put everything on, and I'm not going to record that just to save some time. So for this one, I have, I have the full mat. Now again, you can, because this gets cut as well, you can do what's written on the tutorial and do measurements, or you can line it up where you want it and then just pencil mark where the points are to draw your line and cut. So that's what I did. You can also just, if you wanted to put it inside and do and draw your line like that as well. So you get a good solid line, because I have these pages without a little border on them when it's attached to a cutting edge. Then I have some decoration pieces. So then on the top, on the inside, I have, it's it's a fuller mat than the first page, but not all the way at the top. I realized I didn't want to cut these two heads off if it was this high. So I just trimmed the bottom to lower it a little. But you can do a full mat. The tutorial has full mat size. So it's up to you. Now, with trimming this one, you can, of course, you know, the measurements are in the tutorial, but if you hold it where you want it and flip it over, you can draw your lines and then you know where to cut. So that's just a couple of tips. Whichever you feel more comfortable with doing, go ahead and do it. And then this, I did a full mat instead of a half mat and have a little decoration piece there. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll trim my pieces for the front cover. So I have this piece right here with my lines on them. I'm going to get my mat out. Get my mat out and trim my pieces on the line. It's a lot easier to see on light colored paper than it is dark colored paper. And then just connect those two end points. Oh. And then erase your pencil lines. So you can see I'll have it flush to the side where the line is, and then 1/8 border around the edge. So for the back side, let me get my piece over here. You can either cut with your scissors or use your craft knife. This is a little harder to see because it's on darker paper. Okay, and then we have the inside to trim off. So I did the tracing on this one. It's hard to see the line. Now we're not using these little guys, but we're using these two for the corner on the pages. So let me go back out. Alright, I'm going to ink the edges and then I'll come back and we're going to put them ink and distress the edges, and then we'll come back and put our stuff on there. Like the front section, the front cover here gets a little charm attached, and then the bottom piece here gets the little key attached to the bottom. So we'll I'll be back in just a second. So decorating page 2, we have a few pieces to attach. This piece has some brads in it, and then we have our dangly piece. Let me see if I can scooch in here so you can see some of the brads right there. So we got the 4 brads, and then this piece. So I have already inked and distressed all the edges of my mats. So we're going to go ahead and attach a brad piece at the top. So the first one was a spider. This one's going to be a little charm. It's called Tim Holtz Charmed piece. And then I took a chipboard piece from the collection, and I'm just going to tape it in there. You can tape it or glue. So now we got our piece. So let's go ahead and poke a hole. I'm going to do about, like about a 1/2 inch in. And 3/4 inch down. Just going to make a little mark. Use my pokey tool. This is Tim Holtz ring fastener, and then another little jump ring. So then I'm just going to add some tape to the brads. Brad legs on the back. So we're going to attach this piece. I attach it so it's flush to the line, to that cut. So if you did the tracing it and then cutting out, it should fit just flat, flush to that middle line. So I'm just removing my tape backing, and then I brought my ATG to add just a little bit more in the middle, just to give it a little more stick. So we're going to go ahead and have it flush, or as flush as I can get. And then I like to add tape to my magnet. Just removing the tape. And then I'm going to add a little bit of extra adhesive. And this is going to go flush as well. Alright, so with our decorative piece right here, I am going to add some brads to the corner. These little Tim Holtz mini fasteners, which are mini screw heads. We're going to go ahead and for this type of album, because I'm distressing, if I get too close to the edge and tear the corner, which I've done on the first one, it's okay because it just gives you that extra look because it's all distressed and beaten up. So I'm not measuring, I'm just eyeballing, and it's I'm probably about 1/8 from the edge of where I start poking. So I got all my corners. So we're going to just attach the brads. I got two of the same, so this one's the flat head. So I'll have the flat head here and here, and the opposite one on the opposite corners. So with these, I'm just turning the brad, and I know the leg is going to go down just a little past the edge. So what I'm going to do is trim it off with my little cutters. So you see how it's hanging off a little bit? So I'm just going to cut it off. So it's even with the paper, so it doesn't go past. So I'll probably have to do that to all of them. You can also try and bend it, the brad legs in the different direction, or in the same direction. I put in the wrong brad. Sometimes you got to push those feet together to get it in the hole. So I'm going to just trim the leg. Let me see if I can zoom in so you can see what I'm doing. So I just open it up a little bit. Then I take my cutter and clip it off. And then lay the brad down. So we got one more brad to put in. Pinch the legs closed. Pull back some of the tape. There we go. Oops. I always go the wrong direction. So then I'm going to go ahead and attach, I'm going to add a little bit more adhesive. I'm not going to attach this, I'm just placing it to see where it's going to go because I'm going to attach my card first. I'm just removing the tape backing. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to make this one a little bit lower or higher. I think I'm going to go lower. Okay, let me zoom out. Alright, that finishes the front side. The back side, I'm going to add my tape to my magnet. And this piece gets, oh, sorry, I'm not done with this side. We're going to decorate the inside. So, tape on the magnet. This side I have a mat for this side and just some pieces on this side for decoration. So we're going to go ahead and attach. Just slide it right in there. Attach like that. So let me go ahead and remove my tape. Add my adhesive. And when attaching, I'm hoping not to get it stuck before I attach it down. Okay. And then I have, from the collection, I just cut out a strip that I'm going to put on the top here. I'm going to attach it. Right about there. And then I have a little decorative piece that I cut out. I'm going to attach. Yep. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. That's the inside. So that one was easy. Back to the back side. So the back side, we have a brad set. I have the key and keyhole that I want to attach. So we're going to attach the key to the bottom. Oops. So I'm just lining it up to see where I want to put it. And it doesn't interfere with the magnet that's inside. So I think I'm going to put it about here. I want it to hang over a little bit. So I'm just going to mark it with my pencil. So it's about 1/4 of an inch up and then centered. So I'm going to actually just measure it to make sure that's where I got it. Yep, about 1/4 and then centered. And then I go to the other side. I'm going to remove the tape backing for that piece. So there we go. I'm going to go ahead. On my first page, I put the keyhole at the top. This one, I think I'm gonna put it where the pocket is. So this page, I'm gonna add additional adhesive to. So let's break out my. Oops. So I added brads to the first one. I'm not going to add brads to this part, but I'm going to add brads to my my decorative sheet. So let's see if I can get this. So when you work with magnets and magnetic things, it tends to pull my paper. Alright, there we go. So then we have this piece and this piece. I think I'm going to put my keyhole on this side. That looks like a good spot. So this one's gonna need to be trimmed off too, I think. So, just a little bit. There we go. Yep, I like that. So we're going to go ahead and so this gets lined up with the top corner of that page and the bottom. There we go. And we're going to do this side. And then our additional pieces here, I got this guy right here with a strip, and then I'm going to attach my rabbit. So I probably should have put him on this side to balance it out, but I'm not taking that off. So we're going to put the rabbit off to the side, and I'm going to put some gem spots right there. But, so I think I'm going to skip the brads. I think the little black little sticker guys that I have on here will be just enough. So we're going to go ahead and attach. Go ahead and attach this. I'm going to add a little bit of more adhesive. Oop. I'm going to just eyeball it. This guy I'm going to actually measure where my center spot is so I can get an idea. So that one I want to be centered. So just mark my little center line here. Problems marking with pencil. You can't see it very well. So, oh, this needs to be trimmed. It's a little long. Let me grab my scissors and trim it down just a bit. Add some ink at the tip where I cut it. Just checking to see if it's, there we go. Had it just a bit too long. So where I put my pencil mark, so that's about even. This little grid here does good with the lines. Alright, then I'm going to add my chipboard piece, just removing my tape backing. There we go. So I put some little gems on there, and then there's the key and keyhole, and then we're going to go move on with the inside, which are a couple just simple mats. So we got this large mat that's going to slip right on inside. Right on inside there. So let's go ahead and do that. And I'm going to add some additional adhesive since it's a large sheet. So I'm going to go with a crisscross. Alright, so let's see if I can slide this in without attaching. And it attached. I don't think there's an easy way for this. Alright, I figured out how to attach it. I put something inside to hold it up while I slid it in. Or just use glue that gives you a little bit of extra leeway. So, didn't think that through. My first mat was only a half mat. So you can do a full mat like that, or you can do just a half mat. So that was challenging. And then I have this extra piece right here to add to the top. And just about right there. And then the top piece, I've already trimmed off. And I didn't make a full mat because that would have cut off their heads. So it depends. You can have a full mat on there or a partial mat. So it's up to you what you want to do, how you want to decorate. Just add a little more adhesive. I'm going to turn this upside down because I want it to be flush with these two sides. Here we go. Back side, front side. So next up are our tags, which I already have cut out and ready to go. So let me pull out our page 1. So our page 1, our first tag goes underneath. So I got cut it out and then cut the corners with an angle punch. So this is Memory Keepers, and then this is a photo and angle. So I did the angle side for that. So what this one is, because this one is an upside down tag, you're going to have a little bit of spot that sticks out at the bottom. So that piece is just going to get a little strip and then a little chipboard embellishment right there. And I'm going to do matte the front side, but the back side you can either matte or leave blank, but I'm still going to put that strip at the bottom. So we're going to go ahead and attach our partial mat to the top. Now with the tags, I did not distress this part. I did distress this part because I want that tag to slide in that pocket without catching on anything. And when you distress it, it's going to catch. I also needed it as flat as possible because these tags, you'll have pictures on them. So you would want to make sure that that pocket has enough room for your tag, your mat, and your picture. And distressing it gives it a little bit of extra spacing it's going to take up. So we're going to go ahead and attach the mat. And I'm going to use the tag that's in here already. I'm going to slide it in so I know where my placement's going to be. There's and the tutorial has your measurement of where you place it, but you can always, you know, put it in and see where you want to place your strip at. So I'm just going to place it so it has a little bit of space at the top and bottom. Oop. So I got about 1/8 to 1/16 from that corner point, that the bottom corner. And then I have just a little embellishment that I'm gonna just attach. Oops. Just like that. And then the back side, I'm gonna put the same strip teacup. I don't want to put it in front of the teacup. I'm going to put it, I'll put it right there. So this tag fits right on in there. And then the back side, I have my Mad Hatter, so that teacup works perfect. So then we have the tag that goes in here. Let me pull that out. So I angled it at the top, and I cut a little decorative strip, and then have a mat at the bottom. Or you can do a full mat. I do have that in our collection in there for our of tags, because we have quite a few. So let me go ahead and attach my mat. We're just going to line this up so it has an 1/8 of an inch border along the edges for the bottom mat. And this guy's I'm gonna turn this upside down so I can see. So we're gonna have it about a 1/2 inch from the top. So it'll have about a 1/2 inch gap on the bottom. So there's our inside tag. Fits right on in there. This doesn't have a tag. And then this one has an inside tag. And an outside, it has a tag on the side. So the tag on the side, I have a full mat. But you can do the same thing if you want and do a strip. But if it's lower than this ankle point, you're not going to see it. So I did a full mat, and might add something to it with all those stickers that we have. So I'll wait until everything's matted, and then just use any strips that I have left for these large tags for decorating them. So let me go ahead and so we got that matted and stuck right in there. And then we have the inside mat. So here is a full-size mat for the tag. And then I have, I cut out an additional piece, and then this guy, which is a part of the collection. So I'm going to attach all of those. I'm adding my additional adhesive. Again, I want this to be more on the flat side of things. So when that flap is closed, it closes smoothly. So I have room for a picture, but if I distressed it some, I want to make sure that door's completely shut. So we're going to slide this guy right on in there. Alright, the last tag gets fit into here, and again I moved that magnet so the tag won't get stuck. That's what I had a problem with, so if you slide that tag, it just kind of gets stuck there. So redid that one. This is going to be the same kind of thing. I cut out a strip at the top, cut out a mat for the bottom. And the strip is a little bit bigger. So the bottom size mat is the same size. But there's a lot of 2 full sheets of these strips. Which are perfect for these mats or decorating your pages. So there's that tag. So there we go. And then, so we can attach our 2 pages that we finished in the album. So for this page, it's going to get attached to the top. And it keeps, I have that magnet in there, so it's going to just shut real easily on me. So I have to be aware of that when I'm attaching this page. But remember, it gets attached to the top. And the second page, because this binding doesn't go all the way down, will get attached to the very top. So you're going to slide the page in. So it's attached to the very top. So for this page, I do have a little brad sticking out. I'm going to put a sticker on there. So this page has, the reason why there's no tape on this side is because there's tape on this guy. So we're going to tape it so I still have this opening right here. So this mat isn't all the way attached, so I can slide my tag right on in there. So this binding strip will get attached to this, and then this tape will get attached to this wall, and the top will be attached. So, and we want to leave a sliver of space for our page. So we can, so it moves freely back and forth. So again, I'm just, I guess you'd say practicing. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this tape backing. Well, I'm not on the camera. Sorry. Okay, so I'm removed my tape backing, and I'm going to line my page up. And I guess I should take this part off too. So I'm going to line my page up and attach that binding strip to this, to the tab. Just looking at it, okay. Then I'm going to remove this tape. I'm attaching with a little bit of corner these 2 pieces to make it a little bit more easier. There we go. Alright, there's that page. And then for the second page, I removed the tape backing on one side first. Slide this in and attach. And then flip it over and use my craft knife to grab a hold of the second tape. So in the tutorial directions, you'll see that some of the binder strips have tape on both sides, and some only have one tape on one side. So the one tape on one side is for the short pages, and the both sides is for the pocket, the open page. So again, that's gonna just get slid right on top. And attached, so there's a little bit of sliver of a space. So we're going to go ahead and remove that. I tend to practice a couple times, thinking that it would help. And sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. There we go. Okay. Got it down. And so the back side, I'm just going to use, see if I can slide my craft knife. It is a little trickier to do this way. You can always use glue, but I feel that when you take the tape off of both sides and you slide your page on, sometimes the back side is crooked, doesn't get attached right, or it sticks and you can't get your page off. So now that I have it, I'm just lifting up the page a little bit to attach. And there we go. So now my pages are attached. So when your pages are attached, you can do a thorough, burnishing to get those down. So there we go. We have 4 pages in. I'm going to add a little something to this. On my little Drink Me, I have stickers that says Drink Me in the kits, and you can always put a little bit of alcohol ink in here, shake it up just to have this a little bit of color, or just put a little at the bottom and swirl it around a little bit so it's not all the way full. So I'm thinking that's what I'm going to do with that one. So there we go. There's our pages decorated and attached. 2 more to go. I will do a full video when all the pages are attached and decorated, but I'm going to go ahead and load up this video first. So just keep an eye out. I'm going to add my additional pictures when I'm done with everything, and a full video at the end. So again, tutorial and kits on my blog, www.webofcreativity.net. Thank you for watching.